You're listening to That's Pretty Dark,
the podcast where we talk about all the entertainment that scared us as children
and still haunts us as adults. So grab your flashlight and join us as we take a frightfully nostalgic look over our shoulders.
And under our beds.
And in our closets.
And together, we'll realize, whoa, that's pretty dark.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm pretty country these days.
Oh yeah? Country.
Yeah, pretty country.
Are we talking like Morgan Wallen country? Or are we talking like
God, no.
Hole up in a cabin in the woods. Talk to no other members of society country.
Yes, absolutely. That's me right there. Sign me up for that. Sign me up for that Taily Po existence. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I've wanted that ever since we did that a year ago. I've wanted to live that life. But you know, obviously without the whole Taily Po haunting. But no, yeah, I've got a pond, you know, on my property. It's maybe about a half acre of the 2 acres we've got here. And I did something today I've never done before. Well, one, I went into the pond.
Scary, sketchy.
Yeah, super
sketchy.
You
never know.
Murky water. You can't
never
see.
know what's in there.
No idea how deep it is. No clue. Just a bunch of fish. That's all I know. And turtles. I love the turtles.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, turtles are fine.
But I sunk our Christmas tree.
Oh.
Because
more environmentally conscious?
Yeah, in a way, because it serves as a habitat.
Yeah,
for the fish.
Like a artificial reef, but basically, in a pond.
It's an artificial reef for the smaller fishies that need to hide from the predators, so they can go hide inside the tree.
An underwater forest of Christmas tree branches.
It's really nice. It's really fun. It's cute. The problem is it's now floating on top of my pond because it didn't sink. Are there guides for how to sink a Christmas tree? I didn't think it would be necessary because usually these things are done in like big lakes where they tie like cinder blocks and things to them to weigh them down. Yeah. But then, I thought, hey, you know what? It's just a pond. It's just a bunch of mud. You just thought it would sink? Google
it's dead, yeah.
If it's a dead tree.
It says like logs and stuff.
It says a real Christmas tree will sink because it's denser than water. But what do I know? You can
post a photo of your pond and say, incorrect. Au contraire.
I'm newly countrified, so I don't really...
New to this whole deal.
I did want to send you the pictures of it, though.
Is it the kind of thing where you look at it and you feel like taps should be playing, where it's like...
Yes. Absolutely. I could hear taps being played gently.
There it is.
There it is.
There
floating.
She blows.
I was going to send you the video. I took a video of me doing it. It's too long.
Yeah, you should.
We'll put it on the Patreon or something, but...
You could, post it with the caption, like, Google said it would sink, and then there's just taps playing in the background.
That's such a good idea. I've got to do that. Man, living the country lifestyle. We got everything out here. Wild animals and ponds and all kinds of things happening. The only thing we don't have happening is, like the old-timey, like, gypsy caravan, like, wagons and stuff.
I mean, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. It's coming back around. But we certainly don't have the, like, magician wagon that apparently posts up on the edge of town.
The thing about it is, in this episode, the magician's wagon is on the outskirts of a city. So this isn't a country element at all. This is Country Mouse, City Mouse. We're City Mouse now.
We'll have to talk about where we think it came from and how it got there and like what the hell it's doing now. But anyway, yeah, my name is Christian.
My name is Kaylin.
This is That's Pretty Dark Podcast. And we're just talking. We're just hanging out in 2026.
Yeah. Weird that we look down and that's what's on the calendar.
It's a weird time. And, it's crazy. I keep writing 2025. Is anybody else doing that?
Hey, we're 12 days in. We're 12 days in.
I'm still writing 2007. I mean, like...
I wrote 2016 for a really long time because it was a very traumatic year for me.
Well, it feels like we're stuck in time back in 2016. We can't get away from it.
Yeah.
Things never change.
The only thing that can change March 2020
is us.
And honestly, that's how I started my notes off. I said both time and episode sequencing in an anthology are constructs. Because this episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark is either season 2, episode 11, or season 3, episode 1.
Yeah, that's on streaming, right? Or is that online
Paramount
too?
says season 3, episode 1, so I tend not to believe it.
No.
But the title of this episode is The Magician's Assistant.
Not The Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Not The Sorcerer's Apprentice. And it likely, maybe, possibly aired on September 11th, 1993.
Oh, wow. Big day. Big day for a big city.
Not yet.
I mean,
it was directed by It was directed by Ron Oliver. I think we're like on a streak of Ron Oliver episodes.
I know.
And I think we've said it before, but Ron Oliver actually worked as a stage magician once upon a time. So appropriate episode for him to be directing.
That's awesome.
And it was written by both DJ and Cassandra Schaffhausen. You mentioned her on Shiny Red Bicycle, I think. Mm-hmm. And her other claim to fame was that she's produced over 90 episodes of Arthur. So she was one of those threads tying Are You Afraid of the Dark and Arthur together.
She was one of the ones that had this like deep secret past doing other awesome stuff and just like basically cameoed on this production.
Wrote DJ a couple episodes, you know.
Would if I could.
This episode came up quite a bit when we did cover The Tale of the Sorcerer's Apprentice all the way back in 2022. It is absolutely wild to think that we are here back 4 years when we were
children.
Later. Yeah, children in 2022. And I remember talking about this episode during that and thinking like, oh, it's going to be, you know, we're going to get to that soon. Here we are 4 years later.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is definitely like bookended a whole era of our podcast because we talked about it then because this is what that episode should have been.
Kind of, sort of,
and it wasn't because this is you're going to get into it, but it's
we talked through it at the time that one more leaned into different like Goethe like stuff. It wasn't necessarily The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
That's a very
the way that it could have been, but they used the title and I don't understand why. And our longtime Darklings will also recall that Sorcerer's Apprentice episode was when we first introduced the ATU, or the Arn Thompson Uther Index.
That was the one?
That was the one. And if you're unfamiliar, it's a system that's used to characterize and classify different folk and fairy tale story tropes across different cultures and across time.
Man.
Yeah, that was the episode that brought us the ATU.
Because I didn't know that existed. And then I've talked about it maybe, I don't know, a million times ever since then.
So many times since then. I was very pleased to discover that at the time. And it has served us well.
I remember going on a date and talking about that to like impress the girl, you know what I mean? Like trying to like
very depends on the girl.
So many like years ago.
Very depends on the girl.
Well, I mean, hey, she was impressed, but
if you say so.
Maybe she wasn't. Maybe that's why it didn't work out.
I was about to say, if she's not still around, how impressed was she really?
Hey, you know what? You know, how do I say this? Hold space for the ones that get it. Save yourself for the marriage of the ATU. Save your ATU marriage for the ones that get it.
I feel like that's not working. But good try. Good try.
If they're not into your weird ass fairy tale cataloging, they're not the one.
I mean, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that statement.
Not the one.
I did get into some of this stuff at the time, but as a refresher, in this index, the Sorcerer's Apprentice type story is classified under type 325. It's titled The Magician and His Pupil in that index. And in these types of stories, a sorcerer character like a magician, a warlock, a wizard, someone takes a student, and for one of several commonly explored reasons, things go awry.
A prestidigitator or whatever.
Prestidigitator.
Prestidigitator. You know, a magician.
Well, I think prestidigitator actually is referring to like an illusionist specifically, like somebody's good at like sleight of hand.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Kind of different than, you know, wizard, warlock territory.
That seems very different. Yeah. It just makes me think of prognosticator. But that's also very different.
Also very different. The student character in these types of stories is usually either categorized as a humiliated apprentice, which is someone foolish who can't control magic and leads to accidental disaster through his incompetence.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse, or a rebellious apprentice, which is the type that's seeking empowerment, and that usually leads to like more complete self-awareness. It leads to rebellion against authority and or their talents exceeding that of their master. And in many variations, a magician teaches an apprentice to shapeshift, and then they end up in a shape-shifting duel where often the apprentice will win by shapeshifting into a fox and eating the magician, who is a rooster. So probably a lot of symbolism wrapped up in that.
Where do I find these versions to read?
I feel like there are a lot of them, because I think the story trope is often about like overcoming oppressive authority, or like authority that's going in a direction that you don't appreciate, or like growing beyond like a cage or something confining. I think that ends up being what is taught through this type of narrative more often than not, which is interesting because you think of it like, okay, the student has to learn to like be humble and accept, and there are cases of that, but I think maybe the majority aren't that at all.
What is it? Is it patience, grasshopper? What does he say? Something grasshopper?
Wax on, wax off.
So what you're saying is we're going to get deep into like some political stuff tonight. You're going to talk all about how this is a relevant story for our generation, and how we need to learn to.
I think it's worthwhile. I think we might as well say some words on the subject.
We're more powerful. We'd be given the wand of justice.
We're all more powerful than we think we are. We can say that much. Beyond just the ATU in that episode, I also discussed the 1797 Gautier ballad called The Sorcerer's Apprentice, and that's one of the best known and most widely adapted versions of this folklore type. You're thinking of, Mickey in Fantasia, because in this ballad, a sorcerer leaves his workshop with like a lot of chores for his apprentice to perform. And when the apprentice gets tired of fetching the water by a pail, he enchants a broom to do that work for him. And then soon the floor is flooding and he realizes he doesn't know the magic that he needs to stop the broom. So he tries to split the broom with an axe. And that means there are 2 brooms now and they're working at twice the pace.
Like the heads of Hydra.
Everything just like spirals out of control. And then when all hope seems lost, the sorcerer returns and he breaks the spell, and that's a very, very commonly told version of The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
And then the giant broom comes in and beats you up because you're messing with its baby.
Right.
Splashes you in the Philhar magic, the
Philhar magic.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. And no, I don't want to get there yet.
Also, Gautier, he's the one that wrote Somebody That I Used to Know.
Yeah, exactly. That's him.
Same guy? Mm-hmm. Wow, I didn't realize.
You didn't have to cut me off.
Didn't realize that. How do you pronounce that guy's
probably, I don't know.
Gautier?
Oh, Gautier.
Gautier.
But he probably wouldn't mind the comparison. And like I said, this is Fantasia 2000, that whole idea. And they also utilized the classical orchestral piece that's based on Gautier's ballad. That came out in 1897 by Paul Dukas.
I love the word orchestral.
Me too. It's a good word.
It's a surprising word.
We're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but I think it's useful when we're entering and approaching a story like The Magician's Assistant, the tale of the Magician's Assistant, if we have all of that knowledge fresh in our heads so we can kind of compare and contrast as we go.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
I'm glad to see everyone's on time, for once.
You sound like my homeroom teacher, Drago the Dull.
I like Mr. Drago. He's funny.
Step off, the guy's stale.
When we join the Midnight Society, Gary is excited that they've all made it to the campfire on time, for once. And I agree. Rarely do they ever make it on time. Frank says that he sounds like his homeroom teacher, Drago the Dull. And Betty Ann likes him, but Frank calls him stale. And Gary says that he comes into his father's magic shop all the time because he's a prestidigitator. The amazing Drago. And he's even been on TV, which David corroborates. Frank is surprised by all this, and that kind of bumped me because if Drago the Dull is his insult of choice, it would make a lot more sense if he already knew that about his teacher. He acts like this is the first time he's hearing this stuff.
If he knew that he was like a part-time
magician, a prestidigitator. Yeah, Drago the Dull, he had to know. And maybe it's that he didn't know that he had been on TV and that makes him legit. I don't know.
I mean, maybe.
But it sounded like he didn't know any of the above.
No, I think he thinks he's just a boring-ass teacher who's like, he's surprised that he would do anything as like, not
so then
cool,
why was Drago the Dull his insult?
Because this was... Because this was written by a person who's trying to fold the storyline in upon itself, trying to make it all connect, Drago the Dull. That is true, though. I mean, he did give him a fun nickname for a guy.
I think that could have been easily fixed by having Frank comment after they said all of that about him. You sound like my homeroom teacher. And then somebody said, Drago, the amazing Drago, he's whatever. And Frank's like, I didn't know that. More like Drago the Dull,
More like Drago the Dull.
Right? I don't know.
I mean, I think you're onto something.
Very minor critique.
Solid points.
And it further adds to the fact that Frank didn't know anything about this when Kristen says that this is why you shouldn't judge people because you never know when they might surprise you.
Yeah. And that's just true in all situations.
Always. I feel like this is how a lot of people that I work with feel when they find out that I also have a podcast. They're like,
Kaylin the Dull? What do you mean she has a podcast?
A podcast? Who's going to listen to that?
And that's what my story's about tonight. Sometimes things don't turn out exactly the way you expect them to. People might not be who they seem to be. And simple things could turn out to be far more amazing than you could ever imagine.
And I don't disagree with that sentiment.
Oh, Gare Bear.
We've done an awful lot of don't judge a book by its cover on the show, but especially now and across all kinds of mediums, I think don't judge a book by its cover bears repeating.
Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. I call this story The Tale of the Magician's Assistant.
And he opens by introducing us to Todd Marker, whose father has recently died and whose mother works long hours to make up the difference. Todd is played by Noah Plenner, who played Dougie in the first episode, The Twisted Claw.
Yes,
and his brother starred in Jake and the Leprechaun. So the Plenner boys have done some main character, Are You Afraid of the Dark time.
They're not afraid of the dark.
No, that's a pretty cool icebreaker, the fact that they've probably carried with them through their lives.
I'm sure, yeah.
What's a weird thing about you? Well, both me and my brother were on Are You Afraid of the Dark? We watched Todd biking through a park in a metropolitan area. Again, no suburbs for once. It was kind of jarring because we don't often see these stories take place in cities at all.
It's a big city
I didn't
vibe.
realize how like distinct that was until I saw it on screen.
This one, and I feel like the Dark Dragon was also sort of like inner
a little
city
urban inner city
vibe.
Yeah.
But it is rare. Usually it's the suburbs for this, and things like Goosebumps and Erie, Indiana, and like everybody was just moving to the burbs.
It's also easier to shoot.
That's true.
Cheaper, probably.
Cheaper, less noise.
Todd's on his way to inquire about a part-time job that he read about in the paper. Here we have a latchkey kid hoping to help his widowed mom make ends meet. This is already gritty and already pretty dark.
Which is so different from like Dark Music, where I think it was their parents divorced.
Split up. It seemed that way.
Separated.
I can't remember.
Or something.
It could be. But yeah, it was still the mom.
I don't remember that.
Newly single mom.
Yeah, it was a newly single mom. I don't remember his dad dying. This one just comes out the gate. His dad's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, all right. Well,
here we are.
Still mince words, Your dad's dead, your dad's dead. What are you going to do about it?
Todd arrives at a brightly colored trailer, truck, camper thing parked on the outskirts of the city and ditches his bike at the step, knocking on the back door. When no one answers, he lets himself in, revealing caged birds and rabbits and walls littered with show posters. Clearly the dwelling of a prestidigitator. We get a big sweeping look at this braided branch, very staff-like, very serious wand, we learn later, on a pedestal in the center of the room, which Todd reaches for before he's interrupted with a, "Who are you?"
Who are you?
He's spooked, and then when he turns to leave, an older man in an ornate dressing gown blocks the door.
If I had a nickel.
Leaving so soon?
Mr. Shandu?
Not Mr. Shandu. Shandu the Magnificent.
Accent on the scent.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see if his likeness or career were inspired by anything specific, and although it doesn't parallel very closely, Shandu the Magician, spelled with a C, was an American supernatural radio drama which originally aired from 1931 to 1936 with a revival in the 40s. This drama portrayed the adventures of Frank Chandler, also known as Shandu, an American who had learned mystical arts such as astral projection, which he used to fight criminals and villains.
That's awesome.
There was even a film adaptation with Bela Lugosi.
No shit. Oh my God.
So this is a perfect example to me of like a 90s production team that might have absorbed like a thing or two from their parents or even their grandparents' entertainment or heard about it. And in passing, it kind of filtered into, you know, their writing.
That's so fun, man. Because the 20s and 30s there was a like a resurgence of spiritualism. Mm-hmm. You know, it sort of always comes back around. But,
right.
Wow, that's awesome. I'd never heard of that. Never heard of that.
It's spelled with a C, so it's not exact, but it's like different. CHANDU.
Well, it's a play on Chandler, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's like this, it's just really close, and you wouldn't know it if you didn't dig it up, you know?
Yeah.
Or if you weren't a Darkling.
That's awesome. Did you take note of how this magician's wagon is larger on the inside than it is on the outside?
Very Mary Poppins of him.
Well, yeah, Mary Poppins, Harry Potter. I mean, it's magic, right? So you can sort of explain it away because, as we learned, the magic is real. It's not all prestidigitation. Yeah.
This Shandu is played by James Bradford, whose credits include a ton of TV and TV movies back through the 70s. He was in The Velveteen Rabbit as the Tin Soldier. He was also in The Greatest Game Ever Played with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. That was a big deal for a while.
He returned to Are You Afraid of the Dark to play the general in the 3-part Tale of the Silver Sight. So yeah, friend of the show.
Friend of the show. He could be a friend of our show. Is he still alive?
I think so. I didn't see a death date, so.
Well, that can mean anything.
Yeah. Anything.
Maybe
especially for a mystical magical.
Maybe he just vanished in an act one day. There's no proof.
Never came back. Never returned.
No body, no crime. You know what I'm saying?
That's actually a pretty good premise for a story. Like
a magician
just vanishes. Yeah.
Hey, well, I mean, he does in this episode, but that's at the end, and that's what we're getting.
Yeah, where are you going? Where are you headed?
No,
come back.
Don't mind me. I'll just.
But that's not the point. I'm saying like a story starts.
Oh,
when
it begins with the vanishing
disappears.
of the magician.
Yeah. Cool.
You keep going. I'm gonna write that one down.
He asks if Todd has any experience, and Todd clearly manufactures on the spot a story that he's worked for Phil.
Phil the Fabulous.
Phil who? Phil the Fabulous. And Shandu clocks him. In other words, you have no experience. He says, no, but I'm a quick learner. And right up front, I think it's very safe to say which type of apprentice Todd is going to be.
Yeah, he's got a lot of ambition.
A lot of spunk.
Yeah.
A lot of audacity.
But it's a blending of the two, I think. I think they were true to both.
Magic is not a subject to be learned, it is a skill to be acquired. And you acquire it by keeping your mouth shut and your eyes open.
And I think that can be said of a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. Very applicable to most of life.
Yeah.
I would say.
Sit down, look around.
Yeah, don't do what we do and open your mouths a whole bunch and jab and talk about like things that you don't know what you know what I mean? Like pretend like you know what you're talking about.
Certainly get you into trouble. Todd asks if that means that he's got the job, and Shandu agrees to let him audition by cleaning up some of his props. Todd immediately goes again for the wand and is abruptly scolded.
No, not that! Never touch another magician's wand.
There's a euphemism in there somewhere.
I was going to say, very phallic, a lot of, you know. Anyway, what were you saying?
Todd, like me, is surprised that the braided staff on the table is considered a wand, and Shandu explains that for thousands of years, Deadite sorcerers have used wands like this to draw power from the earth. On my first watch, both I and the closed captioning assumed that he called them dead-eyed sorcerers, EYED. But since that sounded kind of derogatory, I was like, maybe that's not what he said. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm not sure. And I did a bit more digging to see what else he could be saying. And it's not a guarantee, but it's possible that he called them Deadite sorcerers, which could be a potential reference to a contemporary franchise, Evil Dead. I'm not personally well versed in the Evil Dead universe, but Army of Darkness, the movie, had just come out in 1992, right before this episode, and it seems very much like the kind of thing that DJ and Co would want to shout out in an episode, even in this subtle way. In this case, it's pretty much in name only, since the actual Deadites in Evil Dead are basically parasitic zombie demons. But I think it would be funny to just say that offhandedly in a magician's explanation that nobody's going to like look too closely at, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
It would have gone over our heads as young kids watching, but I think
magicians.
Teens of the time or adults on a podcast 30 years later could get a kick out of it.
Because, I was looking at Deadeye, and it's, it's like a marksman, like a good shot would
Dead
be
eye
like a dead
sorcerer.
eye.
Yeah, I guess.
So
I looked that up too, but it just didn't make...
It didn't really... I was like,
and there was nothing with dead eye sorcerer anywhere.
Yeah, maybe he was just using a modern sort of vague term, although
contemporary
specific.
term that could have like evoked something funny for people watching at the time. Who knows?
He
it
did
could
sort of
go either
throw
way.
out like
I don't want to speak with authority on the subject. I'm just
sure.
It's just theory. It's just a thought.
Yeah, but he did sort
just
of throw
idea.
out like mystical sounding like words
Exactly.
and names. Like
that's what I'm saying. Just toss it in there.
Like,
something really esoteric and like, here you go. And then move on really fast so you don't have to explain it.
Magical rule number 1.
He frames up the rules
Never,
again, reiterating that rule number 1 is that you should never touch another magician's wand unless he hands it to you. Again, there's a euphemism in there somewhere. You can find it for yourself. Shandu passes the torch, accompanied by mystical sound effects and a knowing nod from Todd.
Ooh, a Todd nod.
A Todd nod.
We've
also mentioned magic wands or staffs a few times on the show, and the concept of a wand, like a magic wand, has always, since I was a child, felt very intuitive to me. Like, here is an object with which I can like concentrate and pinpoint energy and intent. Like I'm miming it right now. Like it feels very natural to just be like, here's where I'm putting my energy. Like a wand, you know?
Yeah,
and
too much flourish though.
Right, maybe a little. And that's basically how it originated, and it has stayed a fixture of magic in both culture and entertainment.
Are you going to tell us where the wand comes from? Have we done that before?
That's the thing. I don't know how deep we've gone into it on the show, but I thought today was as good an opportunity as any to give a little bit more background on a magic wand.
I mean, if we did, I've forgotten, and I want to know about it. I want to relearn about it.
Darklings that are binging this are like, no, you talked about it in episode 27. We don't need it again.
Oh, those many years ago.
We don't remember anything.
So many moons between then and now.
In ancient Egypt, priests and magicians wielded rods and staffs made from sacred materials like ivory, metals, and also wood. And some even cite the biblical Aaron and Moses staffs as magic wands.
Sure.
These implements were seen as conduits, naturally connecting the earthly realm with the divine. They often symbolized authority, and their use was integral to different religious rituals and ceremonial magic. In Greco-Roman mythology, the caduceus, which is an emblem of Hermes or Mercury, featured prominently. And I talked about this in the Sorcerer's Apprentice episode. Also, it's a common symbol for medicine in the U.S.
The snakes around the staff.
The snakes around the staff. Like trade, commerce, but modern U.S. times, mostly like a symbol for medicine.
Very occult.
The winged staff.
Going to the doctor.
Entwined serpents.
I love it. That's so fun.
For centuries, it served as a symbol of communication, persuasion, and a harbinger of transformative powers.
Which, if you're sick,
there's a very
or
prominent
hurt,
wand or staff, right there in our common culture today.
Yeah. Oh, an emblem of ancient esoteric symbolism.
Existence.
See, a magic staff makes way more sense to me than a magic wand.
Me too, because a staff is bigger, carries more power. Another example is a European tradition of hazelwood wands. They're often used in paganism and in Wicca. They're associated with divination and protection, often intricately carved with like symbols and like passed down through generations, almost like family crests. They carried with them like a sense of continuity and connection to ancient mysticism. And magic wands also played a significant role in like the rituals and ceremonies of secret societies across time and cultures, like the Rosicrucians and the Freemasons. These organizations often use wands as tools for invoking higher powers and enlightenment and for personal transformation. A blog that I read and lost the link to, I really need to get out of the habit of doing that. So let me know if they're your words. I feel like they described the wand's imprint on pop culture really nicely. For example, like in Harry Potter, which screw you, J.K. Rowling, but they described wands as a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with the extraordinary, the mystical, and the transformative, serving as a reminder of the boundless creativity of human imagination and the enduring belief in the possibility of enchantment in our lives.
I mean, hey, I'll take that wherever I can get it.
Right? Same. Me too.
I once found a stick, outside. like where you find most sticks.
In the outdoors.
In the outdoors.
Yeah.
This is before my country life, so most things outdoors were
foreign to you.
Foreign, but also intriguing and enticing, and a little bit sexual. But
a stick was sexual.
It was a stick. So, ooh, yeah. No,
lots of feelings you couldn't explain to yourself or to others.
Just like a wand, like you would think, like a pop culture magic wand. It looked perfect.
It was a wand, Christian.
It was a wand.
I'm telling you, that's what a wand is. It's just like everything else. We're assigning meaning to things and objects. That's what we do. So you found a wand. You found your wand.
I did. And I kept it for a while until a very overly religious, overly dramatic friend convinced me to get rid of it.
Because they knew.
You know who I'm talking about.
Interesting. Because they thought they knew like this. They knew it was a real magic wand.
Yeah, no, I think it was real. And that's why he wanted me to get rid of it, because he was afraid it would, like, it was magic, so it would like ruin my life. And so I got rid of it like an idiot. It's
interesting that people with the opposite belief system, kind of believe it harder than anybody.
Yeah.
That's true. The fear, it's the fear driving it, I guess.
Yeah. It's the fear, but it's also the need to feel important. Like, I know about this stuff, and I'm telling you, you don't want to mess with it.
I'm an authority on the subject.
I'm an authority on this. At least, at the very least, I don't think it would have ruined my life.
No, you know what? I don't think that keeping a stick that you liked from the outdoors would do too much to ruin your life.
Of all the things I could bring into my home.
There are other haunted objects that might have a greater chance of doing so.
Ooh.
A mirror, perhaps?
A mirror?
Yeah, I might not with that, but a stick, debatable.
I never told you about the bloody deer horn I found out by the creek when we first moved into this house. I'll tell you about it some other time.
Poor darklings.
I left it, though. Well, I brought it home, and then I took it back. Because I was like, I'm not messing with this.
It should stay where it was.
I ain't welcoming this kind of death into my house. That can stay where I found it. And I put it back, and the next day it was gone.
Wow.
Now I've told you about it. Sorry.
You didn't have to derail it at all.
I loved this episode so much. I loved it. And I've been living in this magical mindset, this nostalgic, safe, comfortable, magical mindset for a while now. So I'm just sort of I'm embracing it.
You're excited. You're geared up.
I am.
Amped.
It's good to be back. It's almost like we were never gone.
I know, really.
Todd's mother was an artist at an ad agency. It was hard work, and she was always getting stuck working late at the office.
Which is probably the coolest excuse for parental absence that we've come across so far in the Are You Afraid of the Dark universe.
I know.
Todd arrives home, and his mom has brought takeout, but she's already on her way back out the door because she's got storyboards due.
They make their place look so run down. It's all like graffitied.
Yeah.
You're supposed to think they're like hard up for cash and like all
they're
this
living
stuff.
But then their apartment's pretty nice.
It's dope. That
it's
would
really
be like
big.
a coveted apartment in a big city.
Totally. Lots of square footage.
It's so huge.
But that's why she's working so hard, because she's got to keep up,
I guess
keep up
maybe
for
that's
rent.
it.
Now that his dad isn't contributing.
I know we need the money, but I don't know if I want to go back there. The guy's a boss from hell.
I laughed. How? Why?
For one, that's a bold claim after knowing this show magician for all of one day. It ain't like he's working in the mines.
He gave you the job you asked for. Like,
right.
I mean,
a boss from hell. But for two, and in a much more real way, his treatment does matter and capitalism does suck.
Yeah, no, definitely.
His mom says she knows the feeling. She is played by Sally Singhal, who in one of her only additional screen appearances played an unnamed ad writer. So she's either an ad artist or an ad writer in her on-screen endeavors.
Typecast. Rude.
You just look like you work at an advertising agency. I don't know what to tell you.
Look, I've worked at a million of them. You look like everybody who works there. You got the look.
Wonder what Dad would tell me to do.
He would have told you to do your best and not run away from a challenge.
Her ride honks and she's off, and Todd's left alone with his Chinese food. He's visibly irritated eating it with chopsticks, and in an act of his own passively racist sleight of hand, he pulls out a fork from what looks like maybe his pocket. I don't know. Maybe he just had it sitting on the table.
I think he did just pull it out of his sleeve.
He's just like, here is a fork, which I keep on me because it is the supreme eating utensil.
Yeah, it's far superior to these
Ugh.
Chopsticks.
Weird little throwaway joke that you probably wouldn't do today.
Yeah, it didn't really make any sense, but maybe it was supposed to show that he's resourceful.
I think so. Resourceful, prepared, that sort of deal.
He's a tiny magician.
The next day, Shandu begins teaching Todd the basics, including magical rule number 2. Only let them see what you want them to see. This is the rule that I lived a lot of my life by. Gary says that Shandu made Todd nervous, so he made plenty of mistakes, and Shandu really let him have it, but that made him all the more determined to learn. It's not often that we get an Are You Afraid of the Dark training montage.
Yeah, like a cut sequence.
Yeah,
a
cut sequence together of here's a montage
yeah.
of like, what's happening. Cue Eye of the Tiger. We got a rock moment.
Yeah.
And we also don't get many underwear gags, which we did, which is it's funny. It's just very of the time,
Yeah. No, I liked it. It looked like they had a lot of fun doing it.
I also think that we're blurring the lines a little bit here because magician's assistants, if we're quoting what that is, they're not usually learning magic. They're supporting the magician's act, right? You imagine like a woman in a sparkly dress.
I was say a scantily clad,
being cut in
attractive
half.
Woman.
Right, magician's assistant. That's what you imagine with that framing.
Yeah.
But it seems like he wants Todd to do both, like assist and also learn it.
Yeah, he's like a magician in
apprentice.
training. He's an apprentice, right?
Right. So it's just, the
more
phrasing,
true,
the syntax.
More true to the motif, the storyline, like plot motif, than the actual name of the episode.
Exactly. And I don't know, maybe that's the boss from hell part. 2 rolls, 1 paycheck.
Hey, in this economy.
When he's practicing and apparently messing up a trick inside some approximation of a zigzag illusion box, which is the thing I learned, the name of it, that makes you look like your torso is no longer attached to the rest of you.
It's called a zigzag illusion box?
A zigzag illusion box.
Oh,
I
love
zigzag.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love that. Can we, name something zigzag illusion?
They already did. It's that box.
Well, something that we do.
Okay. They recite magical rule number 3 in this case. The cardinal rule, a precept of magic as old as the Thessalonians. Never get caught in your own reflection. I also thought it was kind of funny that they referenced the Thessalonians here, and I remember doing a deep dive on Babylonian mythology in the Sorcerer's Apprentice episode. So they're trying to reach back. They're trying to evoke that idea that this is ancient. These ideas are ancient. And this never get caught in your own reflection thing was not like a magical tenet that I could find anywhere, but it goes hand in hand with most all stage magic philosophy, which is basically that the real magic comes from intentionally being 10 times more aware of time and space and perception than anybody else around you, than your audience.
This is really more of a metaphorical rule for this kids TV show that basically encapsulates decades, if not centuries, of magical practice.
Right. Just an idea, which is, it is important, but yeah, it's a device for the plot.
Sure.
In this case.
Yeah. If they didn't, I would love it a lot more if they
Chekhov's gun,
repeat it. Yeah, yeah, there you go. If they didn't repeat it about 12 dozen times, just to make the point.
Right.
As they're rounding out the episode.
Yeah, they took the idea of Chekhov's gun very seriously in this episode.
You are hopeless.
Shandu calls Todd hopeless, sitting in his vanity in a huff. Todd says, "Can I say something?" And Shandu says, "Only if it will soothe me."
What a diva.
I feel like I should adopt that. I like it a lot. Only if it will soothe me. Todd wonders if Shandu knows that it's okay to lighten up, and that he's always in a nasty mood, and Todd asks why. As the camera does a dramatic slow zoom into Shandu's face in the vanity mirror, Shandu waxes poetic about how he used to be the toast of Broadway.
Toast of Broadway.
He was performing for the crowned heads of Europe, even with his own movie series. And now he's left with a few scrapbooks of yellowed reviews, faded movie posters, and a broken down truck.
My movies aren't even on video. It isn't very pleasant being a has-been.
I feel like this isn't the greatest excuse to treat a kid that you barely know like shit, but
no, that was my thought too.
The trope of a washed-up show magician was probably very fun to play with, and I understand, we would all like our legacies to go somewhere and to mean something. Existentialism does not discriminate. It's for everyone. Maybe even especially those who are given to smoke and mirrors.
But is that why his wagon's just there on the outskirts of this big city? Because it broke down and
I think so.
Can't move
I think
it?
that was the implication. It's it's all broken down and here I live now on the outskirts of the city with nothing but some posters and a dream
That's
to my name.
sad.
I know.
It's a sad existence. Take that
But
show on the road,
you put that
man.
out in the paper to get some companionship and, satisfy that existential ache
Yeah. Well, hey, how do you pass on your legacy if you just like live alone and die alone? Like,
yeah,
if that's your main
you have to reach out.
Focus, whether we like it or not, we got to reach out and connect to humanity in some way.
And also like make art that matters. And I'm sure there are people out there that remember Shandu, the great Shandu, but he's not connected to any of them because he doesn't have a presence on TikTok.
Hey, that's true. You know what? This is before the social media age.
There wasn't an in-universe podcast for Shandu to go on and be like, wow, all these kids remembered my performances from yesteryear. Wow, I did change lives. I just didn't know it yet.
Got something for you.
Pulling in a box, Shandu offers Todd a gift.
What is
the bow tie that he wore for his first performance, and says, don't make me regret it.
So much pressure.
As the scene transforms, Gary narrates that they'd eventually face their most demanding audience yet. Todd, with his hair slicked back and decked out in a tux, announces the magical, the mystical, the magnificent Shandu. One of the walls of the truck shifts to become a stage, revealing Shandu and a faux mustache. And a crowd of children cheers. A birthday party, seemingly, gathered on the lawn to watch. I got instant flashbacks here to Mary-Kate and Ashley's Double Double Toil and Trouble. If you know, you know. You do. You're picturing exactly what I'm picturing right now.
Yeah.
If you've seen it, you know.
Once seen, can't unsee.
The show goes well, and Shandu lights up on stage. He's a totally different person when he's in the spotlight and feeding off the energy and excitement of the crowd. Todd even earns some mild praise. Shandu says that he wasn't the worst assistant he's had. Much like magic wands, I know we've talked about stage magic a few times on the show, but I don't know that we've done like a breakdown of the history of stage magic in general. At least I hope that we haven't, because I'm about to.
This is what I'm here for. When you told me you were going to get into all this, I got so excited.
Yeah, I love it personally. I love the concept of it, the idea of it.
I love a stage magician. I don't see enough magicians in my life.
I agree. I have not been to enough magic shows. That is a
Where
fact.
are they?
Where'd they go?
There's one in Owa, but
Vegas.
It's Owa.
My best friend Thomas, his uncle, is a magician, like a stage magician. He does other stuff too. He's not just a magician, but like he performs, and it's pretty cool.
That's fun. Did you know though, on like those stupid lists of like most attractive traits or like least attractive traits, apparently magic.
Yeah, like close-up magic is considered really dorky.
It's like the least attractive trait
a
man can have to a woman.
Come on,
That's
Jess
so
Mariano.
funny.
Jess Mariano
I was just
is one of the
Jess.
most attractive fictional characters to ever exist, and he did close-up magic for Rory. So
He did. One of the first times they were ever alone.
I would have to disagree. I think magic is cool. I think magic is cool as hell. I'm like Marnie. Halloween is cool.
What's cooler though? Like he's bad at magic, but it's funny, or he's good at magic and is cool about it. Like what's like cooler?
It's hard to choose. Actually,
he's good at magic
I like both of
and
those
it's
things.
dorky, but he doesn't care that it's dorky.
Yeah, like
or
Jess.
he's bad at it, but he's like goofy,
funny about
and it's
it.
funny.
Yeah, God. I mean, humor is gonna win for me
Because he
in
knows
most
it's
cases,
dorky,
but, like,
so he's just like leaning into it.
Yeah, no, I'm attracted to both of those magicians myself.
So basically, just magician. You're just magician.
Yeah, magicians. I'm good with that.
What about a guy who gets so mad that he's bad at magic?
Oh, see, no, that is unattractive. That's automatically a no-go. Gross.
Or
if that makes you like genuinely upset that you're like f***ing it up, no thanks.
Or he thinks
off.
he's so cool because he's good at magic.
Yeah, that's also unattractive.
Like
it's
he thinks he's attractive because he's good
let's just
at magic.
clarify, let's clear it up. Whether or not you are good at magic or close-up magic, it's about your attitude and perception of it, regardless.
I think that's
it's about
true.
the character of the person.
That's just a magician. That's just true of magicians. Your stage presence, how you present yourself to the crowd.
Right. Whether or not you're good at the tricks.
We're not
What a hypothetical.
We're not. What is the phrase? Jesus, we're not when you're trying to say you're not doing something new.
Reinvent the wheel?
Thank you. Jesus Christ.
You go. You genuinely didn't know it.
I would be a bad stage magician. I can't. My brain just like.
Yeah, no, I would panic.
Fizzle,
I just panic
sparks
and
fizzle out. I got nothing.
Just staring, open mouth.
What I was gonna say was, we're not reinventing the wheel here. This is just a magician.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what this is. It.
The spirit of the thing. And I'm going to tell you more about that right now. According to the American Museum of Magic, the tradition of stage magic or magic for entertainment goes back to ancient Egypt, at least.
Moses had to go up against somebody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like there weren't
playing
magicians.
with the big boys now.
I can't wait to cover that movie. In a painting from the tomb wall of Bakhet III, dating from the 21st century BCE, two men are sitting around a table with inverted bowls. Some people interpret this as the first cup and balls routine. Okay, so they're sitting around. The game
where you're like, okay, where's the ball? Where did it go? I'm mixing it up. Yeah, that may date back all the way to ancient Egypt.
That's nuts.
Yeah. We like to be entertained. We like to be delighted. We like to be surprised. Although from about 400 to 1500 CE, little is known about magic as entertainment, as it was mostly associated at the time with the literal occult.
An 1897 book on magic, aptly called Magic, Stage Illusions and Scientific Diversions by Albert Hopkins, describes these religious ties. Spiritual miracles, paranormal experiences, and occult occurrences in ancient times point to a forgotten prehistory of modern stage magic. Weeping and bleeding statues, temple doors that flew open with thunderous sound and apparently by supernatural means, and perpetual lamps that flamed forever in the tombs of holy men were some of the thaumaturgic feats of the pagan priests. In his second book, Hopkins offered detailed schematics of temple tricks designed by the ancient Greeks, discussing Heron of Alexander's description of the Triumph of Bacchus, a mechanical shrine with self-moving figurines, and the disiometer, a jug that magically poured a perfect measure every time.
Moving forward into like the Middle Ages, the frequent reports of phantoms were a byproduct of improvements in optics for magicians with concave mirrors, who were able to produce very fair ghost illusions to gull a susceptible public, this book says.
Yeah, that's the old Pepper's ghost illusion. That's old stage magic, practical.
Where there were mirrors set up in certain places that reflected,
Yeah, that's how they made the Haunted Mansion ghosts in the ballroom, dancing around the ballroom and everything.
I love it.
I
love it.
That's the Pepper's ghost illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Classic stuff, man. I love that. That is the old school smoke and mirrors. That's where smoke and
literally,
mirrors
that's where smoke and mirrors comes from. Mm-hmm.
The old stage magic. I love that stuff. God, I want to take me back to that time, because that was also at the height of like spiritualism, when people were like, they were so eager to believe
ectoplasm
in the other side of the veil. Oh yeah, dude, I want to know how they did the ectoplasm shit. How do you vomit that on stage? How do you fake that? Somebody explain it to me.
Ask Lady Gaga and her performer. They did it once. In 1584, Reginald Scott published The Discovery of Witchcraft, which is a book designed to persuade others that people shouldn't be burned at the stake or hanged for performing simple magic tricks. To that I say, good looking out, Reggie. I see you, and I raise that people shouldn't be burned at the stake or hanged for any kind of perceived magic at all.
No. For very few reasons, arguably. That sounds very different from the Sadducismus Triumphatus, which I have a copy of.
Yeah.
Which is about how to like recognize and locate and murder.
The opposite? Right, yeah. Chase them down.
It's the opposite.
Until the 18th century, magic shows were a common source of entertainment at fairs where itinerant performers would entertain the public. As actual belief in witchcraft was waning, the art became increasingly respectable. A founding figure of modern entertainment magic was Jean-Eugene Robert Houdin, originally a clockmaker who opened a magic theater in Paris in 1845. And he's known today as the father of modern magic, because he transformed magic from sideshow-like proportions to a performance that the public paid to see at the theater. And his legacy is preserved by the tradition of modern magicians performing in tails, like a tailcoat.
Yeah, okay.
That came
awesome.
from Robert Houdin.
Yeah, why are they dressed so well, you know?
Mm-hmm. Because he said, hey, if we want people to take us seriously, we need to dress well, we need to act the part. And then he opened his own theater and said, this is where magic should be performed.
If you want the people with money to respect you, dress like them.
Mm-hmm. Dress like you have money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he started it all. But at least the way that we think of stage magic.
Yeah,
he
definitely
started it out in like the 1840s.
A very, capitalistic version of stage magic.
Right, sure.
But hey, it's arguably my favorite kind.
Continuing the timeline, Alexander Herman, 1844 to 1896, also known as Herman the Great, further became the idealized model for how a show magician would be perceived, adding to this like tailcoat idea, the thick wavy hair, the top hat, the goatee, all that stuff.
I don't love the goatee.
Yeah, not my favorite thing, but In certain cases, it does like add to the persona, I guess.
It does. I like more the big wiry mustache that he's got in this episode.
Yeah. Herman was a French magician, and his family, like the Herman family name, is often deemed the first family of magic. Heavily influenced by Herman the Great was Howard Thurston, who literally ran away to join the circus as a child after seeing Herman the Great perform.
I feel like I know the name.
He became one of the most well-known magicians of his time. He was close to being a contemporary of Houdini, maybe a little bit of overlap. And he pioneered the idea of like respect toward one's audience in magic, because up until that time, a lot of it was very opportunistic. Like, these suckers are going to believe everything that I throw at them kind of thing. And he was like, no. Like, they're people too. Like, we need to have this mutual respect thing going on. And that's going to carry the magic further. That's going to make it, more impactful.
Okay, sure.
Howard Thurston had his own golden rules of magic, which were never tell the secret, never repeat a trick for the same audience, and practice, because that repetition, that muscle memory is what makes you a good magician. Of course, dear Darklings, no discussion on the origins of stage magic would be complete without saying the name of escapologist and magician Harry Houdini, who took his stage name from Robert Houdin and developed a range of stage magic tricks, many of them based on what became known after his death as escapology. Houdini is still to this day the best known name, not only in magic, but perhaps in all of like performance show business.
I mean, it's the most like recognizable, most easily referenced name because everybody knows it.
We would be here forever if we tried to discuss all of his influence, like the spiritualism, like his whole movement with magic. And I know we'll have plenty more opportunities to get into his life and times.
So much there.
What's really amazing to me, though, is that this craft can be traced back through at least the last 200 to 300 years with only a handful of names that really shaped it.
Right.
It was these specific performers that formed our entire modern perception of this same like illusion and innately human wonder that fascinated the ancient Egyptians. We all want to believe. And all of these people have just given us like a way to do that, a conduit for that. Like, we look to them as these performers to make us feel something, and they've always delivered.
I wonder if it's because there's so few who have been that good at it that you didn't even have to try that hard to believe in what they were doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, now we've got like David Blaine.
And
Chris Angel.
I couldn't think of Chris Angel. David Blaine, Chris Angel. But they are really spooky good at what they do. They have manipulated their bodies in ways that defy like biology and logic. Like, I growing up, I loved to watch like David Blaine and Chris Angel. Like, I would catch myself watching like weird marathons, at like midnight, where I'm like watching Chris Angel do crazy stuff.
Making the Statue of Liberty disappear. I think somewhere though, I think he is still underwater holding his breath to this day.
I
think he's still
Legend
there.
Legend
says. Yeah, vanished magician. He's just gone from the planet. People are like, isn't he at the bottom of the ocean somewhere?
Yeah. He was in a cage last I heard.
Breath.
Yeah. But I mean, Houdini paved the way for performers like that. And like, David Blaine, Chris Angel, these are like our modern millennial. These are like our modern millennial equivalents of that sort of idea. Because it's entertaining. It's entertaining to watch.
It is. It really is.
It is.
I mean, I can't get enough. I mean, was that like MTV, VH1? Yep. I forget when they came on. But God, totally. I would sit around, just wasting my life away watching these guys on TV.
There's Penn and Teller also, like stage magic, like, our time. Really, these are the names that have carried those traditions forward. Because they are very much like, they have their rules. They have their like secrecy about it too,
I just think, a TV magician,
I know
it's so easy.
Yeah, because you can cut if you want to. And that's what I always used to think. I was like, people can react however you want to. Like, I don't know. But there are some
movie magic,
things. I've seen
camera
some weird
magic.
Stuff. You never can.
Especially nowadays, you just can't believe everything you see. It's just hard to.
Yeah, now it's fucking AI. So
now, your average TikTok channel
everything
is
like ruined unless you are actually seeing it in front of your face. Later, Todd reports to work only to find the trailer a mess, animals roaming free, and no Shandu can do. Rather than clean things up on his own, Todd reaches for the magic broomstick. wand. And if you listen closely, you can hear inklings of the 1897 Sorcerer's Apprentice concert piece buried in the score.
No way!
I am sure that any Disney kid turned Darkling can recall the slow and faltering contrabassoon underscoring Sorcerer Mickey's struggle.
I mean, I am, but I missed that.
I got very excited about this because I was just watching it, minding my own business, I'm typing notes, whatever. But as I was listening, I was like, there's that iconic bump, bump, bump.
Mm-hmm.
Bump, 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 bump. Like, and I was like, wait a second, I just heard that. And of course DJ would do that. Of course the the musicians on the show would do that. Like,
I've been playing that in my head this entire time.
I had to check it. I checked it again, and then I had to double check that I had the instrument right because I was like, that's what that sounds like. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I was very, very stoked to
awesome. Notice
that such a little tiny detail, but it's so clearly illustrates what we do on this show, where it's the layers of history and
time and media
all together. And they did that, and I love that they did that. And I don't know, just such a great little detail. Todd aims the wand at the room, says the magic words, and poof, all the animals are back in their cages, and everything is as it should be. No wonder he didn't want me to touch it. It's really magic.
It's really magic.
But do we think that the animals just trashed the place? They had a wild party the night before?
That's what it looked like. They just called all their friends, and they were like, hey,
I think that's the joke.
My
they had
magician is away, so
yeah.
all of the other magicians' animals came to, yeah.
While the magician's away, the animals will play.
That's what it seemed like. It seemed like somebody came in there and ransacked it. I was like, what I thought
was
somebody stealing something?
When I forgot what happened in this episode, I was like, did somebody rob the place?
Yeah,
what's going on?
It looked rough. So yeah, I guess it was just happenstance. Or I don't know, because when
I think they just had a crazy party.
He's mysteriously been away and left his trailer there in shambles. And then he asks if anything happened while he was gone, and Todd says no and rushes to return the wand. So this seems sort of like a setup to me. Perhaps Shandu was leaving it that way as a test.
Tempting him, I see.
And he either passed or failed. I don't know. He maybe both in Shandu's mind.
Hey,
he's trying to see what kind of ambition that this kid has, or is he trying to see, will he follow my rules actually? He could be testing him either way.
Yeah, he waited for him to come in and use it. And then, I don't know, it just almost but knowing the threat, knowing the danger that can come from using it, it almost...
You wouldn't think he would want to do that.
Risk it.
He wouldn't want that to be... Yeah, I don't know.
He would fake it, with a regular old houseplant.
Right.
You tried
and
to use
my magic
and then come in
and catch him with it in his hand, yeah.
I swapped it for a fake.
Later at home, Todd wants to relay the story to his mom, but she's despondent.
What's wrong?
5 minutes before I leave work, I get a new project dumped in my lap. 40 storyboard frames. 2 tomorrow.
That sounds insane to me.
That's gnarly
40
as hell.
Frames due the next day?
I think they were just trying to make it the most...
I'm not an artist.
Exaggerated,
maybe.
I don't know.
I
don't think anybody.
They worked on a show, so they would know the types of, they would know what's realistic.
You're
I guess.
Still given time to do the storyboard, though, even on a show.
But I would say even 20 sounds like a lot to me. 20 frames.
I would say more than 5 to 10 is a
anything
tall
more than that.
Order for
I agree.
We
a 12-hour turnaround.
Yeah.
She asks Todd to wake her after an hour nap, and he's shushed when he protests. But luckily, he notices a houseplant in the corner that bears a striking resemblance to Shandu's wand. And suddenly, I wonder how many 90s moms were missing their braided ficus after this episode aired. I do admire their use of such a trendy tree, though, because they were everywhere.
Oh, that's so common. Yeah, that was
really
at least every, then it was everywhere. It's such a recognizable plant.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Todd sneaks back to the trailer and pulls an Indiana Jones switcheroo, complete with all the gestures, the stroking of his beard, the wiggling of his fingers. And guess what? Some of the music cues or the stings for this scene also match.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it as well, and I went and checked, and I was like, yeah, there's the da-da-da, the really staccato outside of it as he's about to snatch it.
More proof that they just had fun doing this one.
So much fun. How much can we get away with layering in here that nobody might ever notice, but it's just for us, just a nod.
Reference here, reference there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he replaces the wand with the ficus, and then carefully enters his mom's home office, aiming the wand at her poster board and pants. And there we have it, 40 frames, just like magic.
Just like
But that's not all he conjures. Behind him, a floating blue spirit appears, a beautiful but vaguely sinister woman who calls herself Nazrak, Spirit of the Wand. She explains that the wand has special powers that only he can bring about, and that he can use it anytime he wishes. And his only response is, very weird.
Very weird.
It harkens back to like the blue fairy from Pinocchio.
I know, I thought of the blue fairy also.
She's just this blue spirit.
But it's also interesting how she kind of layers it on like, only you have the power to do this. And really what she means by that is only you have the incompetence to allow me to use your magic. Like only you are incompetent enough to let me break through. And then he's taking that as his ego, like only I can, I'm the one that's... Arrogance, exactly. Like appealing to arrogance, appealing to ego, when it's actually the direct opposite.
Appealing to his... being a young boy.
That too.
He
knew Nazrak knew his audience. Yeah. Say that much.
He knew what he was doing.
Back at the trailer, he's intercepted
they knew
by...
what they were doing.
It knew what it was doing.
Yes, there you go.
Back at the trailer, he's intercepted by Shandu, who knows he's taken the wand. He's not especially remorseful for a kid caught breaking rule number 1, and says instead that Nazrak told him it was okay. Shandu's like, you saw Nazrak? What the hell?
Yeah.
And this launches Shandu into his most intense lecture yet, for good reason. He explains that Nazrak is a demon, a powerful ancient magician. Is he a magician or a demon? Like what?
Yeah.
A deadite sorcerer, I guess, who's been imprisoned for centuries in the vortex.
In the vortex, another vague term.
In the vortex.
That you don't have to explain.
I really wanted Nazrak to be a reference to something from Greece or Babylon, but I didn't find anything Nazrak related except for a metal band.
There's a band called Nazrak?
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
No real demons, though.
Were they inspired by this?
I don't think so.
The thing about, in like folklore, though, like a demon is a non-human spirit.
Right.
Like an entity. Mm-hmm. So it's like something that was never human. That's a distinction between a demon and like a ghost. And like, it was interesting that he said he was a demon, but he's an ancient magician. Like, turned demon? Mm-hmm. If anybody was going to, it would be a magical
like
person,
implying that the magic corrupted him somehow.
Yeah, I think
which is an interesting like storyline. It's an interesting
it's also,
angle.
Is it a Western demon or an Eastern demon? Mm-hmm. Those are different types of entities.
Very.
Oh, I did want to say though, you said he wasn't remorseful for a guy who broke,
rule number 1.
Rule number 1. It's because he did it for an altruistic reason. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, technically selfish, but it was to help his mom. It wasn't for his own personal gain.
If we're playing these apprentice types, he's totally that type too, where he's like, well, I had a good reason.
He did it for his mom. Yeah. Right. It wasn't for him. It wasn't even for him to get more time with her. It's because she was exhausted.
Right.
Like it wasn't a selfish motive there.
Right.
So
he feels justified in having broken the rules.
So not guilty.
Me and Todd have the same tism.
It was the tism.
She was beautiful.
But then Todd argues that she was beautiful. As if she couldn't be a demon because she was beautiful. And I'm sorry, you're fairly bright and you're hella resourceful, but is it such a stretch to believe that the floating blue lady that's summoned by the magic wand that you just used is also capable of shapeshifting?
I mean, hey, I've known many a beautiful woman who turned out to be.
Careful there. Watch yourself.
I've known many a demon that turned out to be a beautiful woman. Which one's better? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which of those you get away with.
That's I take it back. I take it back.
Shandu says Nazrak can take on many forms and it wants the wand.
Doesn't it though?
To use it, it wants the wand.
It wants what it wants.
To use it is to summon its evil. And if Nazrak is released, it could mean a return to the Dark Ages for all of humanity.
Whoa.
That's pretty dark.
No technology. Literally. Dark Ages.
This is a big deal.
Those are big claims. Yeah, that's
big
a
claim.
Giant
this demon,
step backward.
It's not just your life, Todd. It's not just like this moment. It's not just Shandu's career. It's none of that.
This is human history.
Human history. You could cause a return to the Dark Ages for all of humanity. Some Halloween Town stakes.
I mean, that's a big deal. Yeah, actually, yeah. That did sound familiar to me, and now I realize why. It's Halloween Town.
Shandu sends Todd home, and along the way, he stops because, poignantly, he remembers that he has Shandu's bow tie in his pocket.
Don't make me regret it.
When he goes back to return it, he finds the trailer on fire, and when he hears Shandu calling for help, he's pretty nonchalant about using the wand for firefighting.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I know how to do this.
This is easy.
Shandu can do.
Shandu?
Todd can do. I understand. I would probably react the same way in that situation. I don't know if I'd react so well, honestly.
More
but
of a
like,
knee-jerk
you're not
reaction.
skeptical a little bit, you know? Like this demon that can shapeshift, and now suddenly there's this, you know, tragic trailer fire, and I don't know. But yeah, that's a harsh judgment. He's like, what,
I would
14,
just say,
15?
you know, that's part of the whole, like, if you're going to tell me not to do something so dire, explain why. You know, it just like goes back to like parental advice. Like, don't do that.
Why not?
Why though? Like,
yeah, if you explain the
happen?
consequence, which Shandu just did, Dark Ages for all humanity.
I just think his impulses are to go for the magic wand because he wasn't initially, it wasn't explained to him why. Like now he's learning, yes, but
yeah, well, he was now just told why. Now he knows. Beforehand, maybe so, but it's
I still think it hasn't like sunk in yet.
Got to see for myself.
It's all happening so fast for a 12-year-old.
Yeah, got to see for myself is another attitude that you can attribute to the more enterprising apprentice. In the blink of an eye, the fire's out as if it never happened at all, and Shandu stands nearby, ready to villain monologue. Because, surprise, it's not Shandu, it's Nazrak, employing rule number 2. Only let them see what you want them to see. It's a pretty good reveal.
It's a great reveal. It's so scary. That would have just given me the shivers as a little kid.
Yeah, I liked everything about like the spookiness of the Nazrak demon, like in his demon form, except that it looked like he was wearing rubber, like just the way that his skin moved. It was creepy and gross, but it was like, that's like rubber latex is on your person.
I mean,
it can't move with your skin, you know?
To the discerning eye, sure, but as a kid, you're
also
like,
the fingernails.
His skin is like loose.
Ugh,
you know what
fingernails.
I mean? Like he's been, like soaking in a bath for like 1,000 years.
It feels like now Todd has restored some of Nazrak's power each time he's using the wand, like allowing it to build until it could truly break through.
I was wondering about that because he was outside of the wand.
It reminds me of Hexus in the tree with all the melty spray paint.
Or like the Gnome King. He's gradually becoming human, you know, apart from rock.
TV Tropes calls this evil sealed in a can.
Oh, that's fun.
Todd rushes home, hoping for his mom's help, and she meets him at the door. When he tries to explain about the wand and the magic, and he goes to show her the storyboards, he stops short because he finds another note from his mom saying she'll be home late again, which means that's not his mom he was just speaking to.
Oh, this kind of thing messes me up.
Me too.
This f***s with my head.
Me too.
Like,
we've talked about it before. Like there are some reveals like this in Rugrats. We've had moments like this. Yeah, we've had moments like this.
You're not who I think you are. You're pretending to be someone who's close to me. You're pretending to be my family member, but you're not.
I'm supposed to be able to trust you, but clearly I cannot. That
is like stomach churning, gut wrenching. That is like heart pounding fear inside of me. Like this episode would have done a number on me as a kid. I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
But like that reveal, like it was scary enough when it was like Shandu, but now it's like your mom. And that reminds me of the time that like I got home from school, and if my mom wasn't home, she got home pretty soon after. It was a routine thing. And I was home alone, and I could have swore my mom came in the house. I heard all the familiar sounds, and she called my name, and she wasn't there. Like,
you've told me about this before.
Yeah. I probably said it on the podcast before, but that is one of the, I don't know what you describe that as. It's not life-changing. It's not revealing. It's not enlightening.
No, but it does shift your perspective.
It's almost the opposite. Like,
where you're like, can I trust myself? Or is there something else going on? Like
what's in this house that just wanted me to think?
Yeah, it rattles you. It rattles your perception
it does.
of reality.
Because there's something in the house now that wants to be that close to me. And it's pretending to be my mom.
Though alone, Todd pulls, she's right behind me, isn't she? And turns to see his mom standing, head down, hair hanging forward.
Dude.
When she lifts her eyes to look at him, she's glowing blue and her voice is no longer her own.
You did it, boy. Give me the wand. You can't escape my magic.
And Her hands are doing this
Her
shit,
hands
whatever
are
this
like,
is.
Yeah, like weird claw motion.
And she's all jerky and scary.
Because it's, like her motions are wrong. She's wrong. She's not herself. She's wrong in her body.
Wrong.
The magic is kind of like, exploding from her because it isn't her.
This is not just scary for a kid's show.
No, it isn't. This is scary.
This is scary in life. Like, this is a scary moment.
I agree.
This is a scary visual that was put on TV for kids. And it gets
I would
me.
not be surprised if there are a lot of Darklings out there that this really stuck with you. Like this, even the idea, but the visual too. Definitely the scariest moment of the episode by far.
Yeah, it's twofold. Yeah, the idea that it's not who it's supposed to be. But then it's also this very scary, rigid, demonic possession-like.
Possession, yeah. It definitely echoes a possession. And it isn't, we learn. It is totally a fabrication. It's shape-shifting.
Yeah, totally shape-shifting.
It does echo that possession idea, which we saw that in Whispering Walls, I think, too, where the voice was wrong and they're shape-shifting. It's, the babysitter. But it isn't her, but it is. It's like,
that part was scary.
We probably had the same conversation then, honestly.
She lifted off the ground and everything.
The floating lady.
You couldn't see her feet. It was
a magic trick, but
the floating lady.
Todd dives behind the kitchen counter and frantically tries to dial the phone, but hears Shandu calling for him. Apparently the vortex, another mirror world, which we talk about sometimes, extends to all reflective surfaces in this episode, including household appliances like the toaster.
Oh, what a brave little toaster.
The bravest little toaster. Shandu's reflection tells him to remember the rules of magic and use them.
This franchise loves a reflective surface. It loves a mirror.
It does.
The lonely ghost.
Captured souls.
Captured souls, yeah.
Give me the one.
I know the rules, Nazran. You can't take it unless I hand it to you. And I'm not gonna.
I could force your mother to convince you.
I'll make a deal. I'll hand you the wand. You have to leave my mother alone.
Agreed.
Mark Brumlow, the actor who portrayed this demon, also plays Mr. Noise in The Tale of Cutter's Treasure.
There's a lot of people that came back in Cutter's Treasure. We've referenced that a dozen times at least.
To DJ and the team's credit, they avoided what would have been a little more predictable because my mind was like, oh, it's going to be the fake wand. He's going to hand him the fake wand.
Yeah, you can tell it's not, though.
Yeah, instead, it's another callback. Rule number 3, never get caught in your own reflection.
All these rules repeated over and over.
Over and over.
And over again.
Though this is meant in stage magic to mean that you should be mindful of where you stand to avoid giving away illusions involving trick mirrors in this universe and Oz and Double Double Toil and Trouble, it's a bit more literal. On the subject of mirror worlds, I found it funny that one of the only consistent rules about mirrors that I could find, other than like not breaking them or facing them toward your feet in bed, stuff like that.
Or saying Bloody Mary 3 times. And
saying Bloody Mary.
Dark and,
or that. Was about not facing 2 mirrors toward each other, because it's said across many different cultures, and I totally would have gotten on board with this as a kid, that because of the seemingly infinite loop of reflections that they create, parallel mirrors generate a whirlpool of light with the power to trap malevolent spirits and negative energies.
So they're trapped, so it's not a good thing because they can now escape?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe you can free them that way too. I don't know.
Maybe that's just like where they live, and if 2 mirrors line up like that, it's like a portal. You can
see them,
like a doorway.
It's a portal. It's a doorway, a window. I don't know.
If we're really breaking down the lore of the house I grew up in, my parents' bathroom has mirrors that do this.
Really?
Like we grew up always fascinated by the mirrors because if you stand, because they're on opposite ends of the bathroom.
Right.
If you go into their bedroom, there's 2 doors into the bathroom, and on the outside of both of those doors is their respective sinks. And then in the middle is like the tub and the shower and the 2 closets. But we always used to stand at one end and like look into the like portal, the eternity of the mirror opposite. And we'd always try to like stand out of our own way to like look and like see down the hall of mirrors, literally.
I feel like I used to do that in fitting rooms and stuff.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is my house was haunted.
That is what trapped the malevolent spirits.
There were dark
portal.
energies in the house I grew up in. We always knew there were, but we just didn't know why, because it wasn't built on. We always were like, it was built on like an Indian burial ground or something.
No, it was the mirrors.
It was new ground, so there were no graves. It was cleared woods, technically, because it's the suburbs.
I think you just solved your decades-old childhood question mark.
That's why my parents' bedroom was the most haunted room. That's why it was the center of all my nightmares.
Mirrors. Yeah.
And I was watching this show while living in that house, growing up with all these fears. And I never put two and two together. I never put those two mirrors together like that in my mind.
You know, we talk about mirror worlds a lot. We did it just now with Oz. We talked about it a lot during Lonely Ghosts. Like you said, like it has always fascinated me, and I think for good reason. And I mean, there are different interpretations of this stuff. Like in Western cultures, it means something different. Like, I mean, Eastern magic and like folktale, folklore, any kind of Eastern influence. There's feng shui, where there are a ton of like I said, don't face the mirror toward your feet in bed. I personally, we've said this on the show before. I probably said it during Friday the 13th. I don't have I have a full length mirror in my bedroom, but it's angled in such a way that I cannot see myself from my bed because I just personally don't want to wake up and see like a person, you know.
You don't want to see anything in the bed next to you, right? Like
or
you don't want to see anything to do with you in the mirror. If I get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, we've said this 100 times in the show.
100 times.
Cannot look in the mirror.
It has to be very intentional if I'm going to look in a mirror, because I don't want it to be an accident. I don't want to think I saw something. The light has to come
on first. Can't look in the
never
mirror
in the dark.
if it's dark. Never in the dark, ever.
Never in the dark.
For good reason. I did not realize we were going to go there with the whole double mirror thing. That's crazy to me. And I feel
never get caught in your own reflection.
I feel like it's...
or in a portal or a vortex that was opened unbeknownst to you.
I'm just like afraid for my parents now. They still live there.
Yeah, you should warn them.
I've waited centuries, and now it's mine.
Remember our deal.
Nazareth tells him that his mother, who's almost home with the groceries, is safe, but he never made any promises regarding Todd himself, who he immediately intends to banish to the vortex with Shandu. It's like the exact words, you know, like, careful what you didn't say anything about you, so.
I'm honoring our deal because I'm that kind of a good guy.
Yeah.
Deep down. But you are fair game because you didn't choose your words carefully enough.
Not so fast, Nazareth, because Todd knows the rules.
Magical rule number 2. Only let them see what you want them to see.
Be gone!
Thanks to some conspicuous blocking, Todd has placed himself in front of a full-length antique mirror, and he steps out of the way just as Nazareth lifts the wand, zapping the mirror and causing Shandu and Nazareth to trade places. Centuries of complex magic and arcane evil, outsmarted by a sidestepping teenage trainee. Simple as that.
You know, spunk. I don't think spunk was invented before the 1990s. So,
right,
90s kids had something
90s
different.
kids. That's what we figured out. If nothing else,
they're just built different.
But the mirror makes sense as a plot device too. In addition to it being the Chekhov's gun, the repeated rules, it's encoding an idea of self-confrontation. Like it's forcing evil to see itself. Yeah. Which I can get behind.
Hey, no, this is like the, not to spoil it for anybody, but the end of Little Nightmares. The last chapter, the last like boss battle you have to fight. You ever heard of that game? You ever played it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the last big boss battle is holding up the mirror to the witch with her big shiny spotlight face. When she tries to get you with her face, you hold the mirror up and it beams it back at her, forcing the evil to confront itself.
Right. You gotta show the evil thing what it has become.
I'm sorry I didn't listen to you, Shandu.
Actually, I should be apologizing to you. You see, I've been trusted with this wand for far too long now. I've been searching for someone to take my place. That's why I handed it to you in the first place.
Do you think we can get any of the ancients in Congress to watch this episode? Shandu for term limits. Anyway, Todd's magical inclinations and obstinance have apparently earned him wand privileges.
I have to apologize because I threw you into the midst of this whole, dire situation and didn't explain anything to you until it was too late.
It's sort of like a Wonka thing. Like I gave you this magic, I gave you this responsibility, I gave you this, test, and you kind of defied the odds, you kind of defied my rules, you kind of did some stuff like that, but you passed because that's the spirit of the thing. That's what I was looking for. I wanted you to be that kind of a kid.
Willing to risk the entire universe, the history of humanity,
just
all for
to
the
pass
sake
on your
of
legacy.
But isn't that what those MFers do, isn't it? willing to risk the future of the planet and the health of all humanity and like the entire human race. And like
the MFers in Congress. Yeah.
The people who run the planet just deciding, you know what, for the sake of legacy, I'm just going to risk all this.
It's against legacy because legacy won't exist if the planet burns up.
I don't know what arrogance that is that makes them think anything about their story is going to live on.
I think it's more ignorance than arrogance, honestly.
I don't get it because, we can't live on anywhere else yet.
Yeah, there's nowhere for us to go if Earth is no more. I think it's important to note that this is a bit of a divergence from the typical ATU pattern. Because in many 325 variants, the magician is cruel and exploitative or outright evil, and the pupil is supposed to escape or overthrow him. Like, that's the point of the story.
Right.
Here, Shandu is flawed but benevolent. His secrecy is protective, not selfish, and he genuinely seems to care for Todd.
Yeah, no, he's a good dude.
His authority is reframed as like fallible but redeemable. It's not like corrupt or, there's nothing underlying there that really needs to be overthrown. It's just more of a, I do want to teach the next generation. I'm going to do that the best way I can, which is probably a good Nickelodeon move.
Yeah, he's self-absorbed, but he does want this to happen. He just doesn't know how to do it.
Right.
So it was sort of a bumbling, fumbling sort of scenario in which it did occur.
Even in cases of a rebellious apprentice where they're successful in, whatever overthrowing they're supposed to do, the direction that these stories end with is often more like the pupil has to flee, or they're barely surviving the encounter, or they've lost some sort of magical something. Like they lost something in the exchange.
Yeah. They're wounded. I mean, that's how magic works.
Todd instead becomes Shandu's successor and receives the wand like in a legitimate way, which he's on his own path to like master. Like now he is the keeper of the wand. You know what I mean? There's this idea that this is fulfilling the ideal behind apprenticeship,
Yeah, sure.
This honestly reframes a lot of things because in a lot of folktale tradition, it's about, magic is dangerous. You need to respect it. There's this deep knowledge about how like scary magic can really be. And there's some of that, but in this case, it's more like magic is responsibility. Like you have to practice and train and learn how to use it wisely.
Yeah, it's like a discipline.
And instead of the master being a villain, the master is more of like a guardian or like a teacher, truly. And instead of being punished in some way, he's earning his succession. And it's way more like coming of age framed, which makes perfect sense for Are You Afraid of the Dark?
You've passed the test.
I don't believe it.
Its magic is very powerful, my son. Learn to use it.
How? I don't know what to do.
You'll know. Besides, I'll never be far away. For now, I'll leave you with just one more rule. Magic rule number 4. Always leave them wanting more.
I mean, that's a good moment.
Yeah, this is actually the only Shandu rule that I could find reflected word for word in real life stage magic guides.
Yeah.
Like all the stage, it's the same kind of stuff where it's like never tell a secret and that sort of stuff. It wasn't really these things start to finish, but this rule is repeated in a lot of places. And I think it's a huge part of that showmanship. Yeah.
It's just showmanship. Always leave them wanting more.
Always
I think that's a Walt Disney thing. Like, I'm pretty sure that's like, that's just...
It's just a principle of entertainment in general.
Don't we always leave a little something to be desired on the show here?
Yeah, right? Don't you guys always just want a little more of us?
Don't you think if we just had one more chance, we could do it better? You know what I mean?
I do think this is a good rule. I think it applies. And as he says it, Shandu vanishes in a haze of blue light.
Don't you feel like this is the wrong time for him to disappear, though?
Yeah.
Like isn't he just getting started on this magical journey? I have
just now received this wand. Oh, teacher, could you please enlighten me some more? Because my thought process is like, okay, Nazrak was only able to break through because of Todd's lack of experience. Like, he needs to be trained. He needs to learn how to use it differently, which if all he's doing every single time, granted, it's all about like focusing intent, right? That's a very fair point. That's how magic works. You're focusing intent. I get it. There's so much that's happening inside you as a person and inside your mind that can conjure whatever's happening with the wand. But there's only one set of magic words we've even heard at this point. Is Shandu can do just multi-purpose for everything from firefighting to like,
I think you come up with your own magical incantation. But, as we've learned before, like, it's all about what you mean. Like, your intention behind the words is more important
than the
words
Todd.
themselves. Yeah, the Todd nod. I don't know. Like it's
yeah, it's a lot of what you bring to it, you know. So that part is cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm Todd, right? Granted, he's a little bit more ambitious than me in general. But if I'm Todd and this wand has just released a demon that could bring the Earth back to the Dark Ages,
yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be afraid to use that wand again.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like,
definitely,
hey, Shandu,
definitely.
how do I not do that?
Just don't let anybody steal it from you. Tell everybody you know they can't have it unless you hand it to them.
Yeah, I guess maybe now if it's his wand and he's not doing something against the rules of magic by stealing it, I don't know.
It's his wand now. It's not like it's not
his now.
Yeah.
He's playing with the big boys now.
He is playing with those big boys now. But I mean, my take is different. It's like I've just defeated the darkest wizard of all time, this ancient demon. And now I'm left alone to figure out how this magic works for the rest of my life. I'm going to wield it and become this great sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
And yet all I know how to do is be a stage magician.
Right. All I know how to do is be a stage magician and step out of the way.
The only thing you've taught me is how to do magic tricks for children's parties. Mm-hmm. So like, what do I do with this?
I'm just imagining Todd like these are the only 4 rules he's been given. So he's like trying to mathematically apply them to every situation he's ever in.
It's like, do I get into wizard battles?
Only let them see what you want them to see.
Are there other magical people out there with their own wands? I want to see the post-credits sequence.
Naturally, Todd's mom barrels through the door, haggard from a day at the office, dropping groceries left and right. You won't believe the night I've had. Todd stands in shock as she brushes past, and from off-screen we hear, "Hey, where's my tree?"
Yeah.
Pause for a knowing smile from Todd, who has certainly just realized that he never has to do homework or worry about money even again.
Yeah, no. What does his mom do if she doesn't have to do storyboards for work?
They're set for life, but then I asked myself, why do you think Shandu never used the wand to drum up business or like to fix his truck or...
Whoa.
So there must be rules that we're unaware of.
I think because magic always takes just as much as it gives.
Magic always takes just as much as it gives. There are always consequences that we might not be seeing in the moment.
Maybe to continue wielding true magic, it stole Shandu's career. Maybe it pulled the rug out from under him because he kept using it for other purposes, like other gain. And so maybe Todd has way more to learn than we realize.
Suddenly we're back at the campfire, and that's the last Todd saw of the old magician. There's a beat of silence, followed by a couple murmured, "Good story, good story." And that's all the response Gary gets as they douse the fire and quickly exit stage right. Frank is left in the dark, where he picks up a stick. Unassuming stick from the outdoors, conveniently propped nearby, wondering comically at its power. He leaves the stick as a reminder, because, yeah, not all sticks are created equal.
But did we even talk about this? How Gary used the stick to make the fire do its
no, we didn't.
Magical midnight dust thing?
Yeah.
The first time they've never used the midnight dust.
They used a magic wand. Maybe they used both. I like to think they use both. I feel like he's got Betty Ann on the sidelines, and they planned it together.
But for the purposes of the show, Gary just did a stick, and it just did the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But now we've arrived once again in a place we haven't been in a very long time. The Scareometer.
Scareometer, man. I think I'm gonna give it like a 7 or 8.
Whoa.
Because the whole idea that I have no knowledge of what I'm doing, I've been given this great power, or I've stolen this great power. It was within my grasp, within my reach. And now I've released this dark power, this entity, this demon.
Yeah, pretty scary.
Who's now impersonating my family member and like shape-shifting and taking on different personas, about to tank all the progress that humanity has made for 500 years, 1,000 years. And it's all my fault.
Yeah, it's all on me. You're right.
And he's super scary looking. His skin's all peely and like loose.
His skin's all peely. And when he doesn't look like that, he looks like my mom.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The fact that he can make anything look like anything else is always scary. I don't like the idea that I can't trust my eyes.
Yeah.
That scares me a lot.
scares me too.
It's not like, it's not like super scary. It's maybe like a 7.
This one's tricky for me because those ideas, the idea of something being all my fault, that I've caused this catastrophic event, or the idea that I can't trust my eyes, that might not be my mom, and especially for that visual, like thinking of how that would have impacted me as a child. Yeah, all very scary. And just for that scene alone, I would say like a 5. Just blanket it. That's worth a 5 by itself. But for me, I feel like a lot of the ancient magic slanted episodes didn't really scare me because I knew that there was this like, I, as a child, could layer over it this idea that it was fiction, Right. Because I didn't have like a deep core true belief in that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So it allowed me to get distance from it in a way that I didn't put myself in their shoes as much as I might with other things.
Well,
but just the visuals were scary.
If you just went up against Moses, he'd be like a total,
exactly.
Wuss.
Right. Total chump.
Yeah, suckered his jabroni over here.
And that's exactly where my mind went as a kid.
Moses could like stomp you to the dirt, man.
Yeah, I would have definitely been Team Moses as a kid.
Yeah, for sure.
But overall, yeah, I mean, pretty scary to think about all of those consequences coming from you just deciding, hey, I'm going to grab this stick and see what happens. There's euphemism in there somewhere. You can find it for yourself.
There's dark power in many, many sticks out there. Be careful. Choose your sticks wisely.
That is the real moral of the story. Overall, this episode was more straightforward than I expected in terms of lore, and it required a lot more historical research than anything that I felt was truly dark. Like it was more, where are the origins of this craft of stage magic, the performance of it. But still, it was packed with a lot of fun little nods, and some of those nods within this episode were buried so deep that you might miss them if you didn't know where to look, kind of like a magic trick.
Only let them see what you want them to see.
Anytime I can dive into the world of stage magic and sleight of hand, I'm happy. Like you were saying earlier, it's something that I'm just excited to look at. I'm excited to talk about and think about. I've probably talked about it before. I have this book of spooky tricks that was maybe from the 70s. It's all these weird little table magic tricks for kids.
Oh, nice.
It was in my mama's like toy chest at their house. And I never like fully, I don't know where it came from. I have it now. It's sitting on like, I have a shelf that holds records, like vinyls, and it's sitting in front of that. So I see it like every day now because I loved it so much when I was a kid, and I took it whenever we were, cleaning up her house after they had passed. But it had stuff like the disappearing salt shaker, and like the thing where you like make it look like your thumb has come off and you're like doing the thing with or like some shadow stuff. Like it was all little fun sleight of hand tricks like that.
I gotta get a copy of this
and
book.
It's super old. Yeah, and I loved it as a kid, and anything like that has always captured my imagination. I grew up going to those like hokey magic shops in places like Pigeon Forge, like the really touristy magic shops where they sell like the kids magic kit where it's like string that's like different lengths and all that different stuff.
Yeah.
So all this ties into my childhood, not just in literal memory, but in that like hope of something that is beyond our senses. And like the accessibility of the idea that Kaylin, I could be a magician. Anybody could be a magician if we played our cards right.
Wow.
We didn't touch on it too much, but obviously there is a certain air of mystery and potentially distrust surrounding stage and close-up magic. In some cases, that makes sense. Like you want to be a little bit skeptical if somebody comes up to you on the street and is like, "Can I show you a magic trick?"
Stranger danger.
Like there are definitely examples where it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Just thinking of walking down the street in New Orleans.
But I would like to believe that smoke and mirrors aren't just for swindling and swerving or opportunism or wielded by people who intend to take advantage of you. Most of us humans are, even if we're unaware of it, looking for a way to break through our corporal mundanity and or a chance to recharge and better rise up against the oppressive forces that surround us. Art, literature, education, and really all the humanities, including entertainment, are so often this outlet for us. And I think all of those creative pursuits work best when they're coupled with, or at least open to, wonder, amazement, and the opportunity to suspend our disbelief and allow for the wink, to allow for something magical to exist, even if just for a moment.
Well, I certainly couldn't have said it better myself. I mean,
you probably could have.
That's it. I mean,
that's it. I think
let in the magic.
You have to let in the magic. Let yourself want things. We talked about it in Halloween Town, but just the delight, the idea that there's something that's going to surprise us or just take us, in a positive way, take us off guard and make us believe in something. Yeah. I think we could all use a little bit more of that right now.
I think so.
In this world.
I think so. Something to light your jack-o'-lanterns with. Something to put a little little foam in your potion. You know, a little bubble. A little
bubble in your potion.
A little bubble in your a little trouble in your bubble potion.
To put a little trouble in your bubble.
Double toil and trouble in your bubbling cauldron. That's all. That's it. See, that's how I would have said it. So I think you did a better job.
Good thing I had this episode. Good thing this was mine.
Oh man, yeah. No, I'm always looking for the thing that puts a little bit more magic in life.
Me too. Constantly, everywhere.
Constantly.
Always. And speaking of more magic in your life,
hey.
If you want more of us, you can find us on social media at That's Pretty Dark Podcast on Instagram, at That's Pretty Dark on TikTok.
You can share the magic, your own magic, with us at that'sprettydarkpodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Send us a magical email.
And if you really want to make us feel more magical, you can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/TPD podcast. We've got a couple patrons to thank.
We sure
Our
do.
first patrons of the new year.
We want to thank Siobhan R.
And Adriana G.
So thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for being here, both of you and all of our dear patrons and Darklings at large. All of you, every single one of you, make it possible to do what we're doing. And yeah, we couldn't appreciate you more. I can't believe that, this is really our first episode of 2026. We have a ton of stuff in the works. We've got a crazy schedule and some really exciting new horizons for That's Pretty Dark this year. So we're really excited to share all of that with you just as soon as we can.
Ooh, we can't wait to get on that stage and show you our magic tricks.
Yeah.
Hopefully not that many vanishing acts. Hopefully it's more of a wow, pop, bang,
yeah, we
flowers,
better not be
birds. Hopefully it's more of
vanishing
a
act.
in your face kind of thing. You're gonna saw some ladies in half. But that's taking it too far. I think that's a bit too much.
Yeah, I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to risk that.
Not this year. Maybe we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah, walk it on down the line.
They got to Johnny Cash style. So, thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate you. We're gonna be hitting you with another "Are You Afraid of the Dark" next time.
Yeah,
because we've just been gone for so long. The year right.
Yeah, it's been so long. We've missed the campfire, and we know you have too. Y'all say it all the time, so we're glad to dive back in to some Are You Afraid of the Dark to kick off this year full pretty darkness and hopefully a little bit of magic.
Hear, hear. See you guys next time.
See you soon.
That's Pretty Dark Podcast is produced by Kaylin Andrews and me, Christian Baxter Mott.
With music by Jonathan Simmons and cover design by Halftone Horror.
You can support our show by supporting our sponsors, or go to patreon.com/TPD podcast to unlock all the Pretty Dark bonus content we have in store.
Please share your experiences and let us know what shows, films, or villains still haunt you from childhood on our socials or at that'sprettyddarkpodcast@gmail.com.
For all other information, visit our website, that'sprettyddark.com.
Remember, you're never really alone.
So, until next time, sweet dreams, everyone.
Never, ever touch another magician's wand unless he hands it to you.